is the Sport Fiction Podcast. We discuss the world of sports at 13 PSI without a trash can in sight. If our answers frighten you, then you should cease asking scary questions. Sport fiction is a made-up piece of literature where a sport has a specific impact on the plot or the main characters. Let's see what these two characters will make up today. One is a sports analytics expert, and the other one, a sports agent. Here are your hosts, Noah and Jorge.
Hello and welcome back to the Sport Fiction Podcast. This is episode 3, and we are still sponsored by my wife. I think pretty soon we'll find a sponsor, a real one that will get us at least some drinks or something. But today is a very special episode. Today, Noah is out and about doing other stuff he thought was very important. So instead, we have replaced Noah with a special guest. I want to introduce you to Carina Diaz. Yes, it's my daughter, Carina. How are you, Carina?
You know, I'm living life.
Living
Getting out there. Living like Larry.
Who the heck is Larry?
Larry Lobster.
Oh my gosh, he lives under the water.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I was at Universal the other day and did not find SpongeBob the whole day. I was so disappointed.
Did you find anyone else?
No. I did find new shirts from Roosevelt for SpongeBob, so
one?
I'm definitely going to buy one.
Did you get me one?
No, we should get some matching ones, huh?
No.
For next time you come. No, we're going to do it. Well, we're going to have a very, very special podcast today because we are talking about another sport that a lot of people maybe are not so familiar with. And if they are, oftentimes they just see it as entertainment, not a sport. We're going to talk about dance. Carina, what do you know about dance? Tell us a little bit about your history.
So I know a lot about dance. I was a competitive dancer for 15 years of my life, and I stopped competing after I graduated high school in 2022. But I was trained in ballet, jazz, lyrical, hip-hop, tap, contemporary, and improv. I think that's it. But I mainly did studio all my dance career life, but I also had tried out for my high school's prom team, which is actually pretty well known in America because we have won multiple double titles and back-to-back national competitions with UDA and also DTU.
That is so exciting. So for people that don't really know what UDA or DTU is, UDA stands for, what does UDA stand for? United? No. We should know this. It's all on Varsity TV.
I never know it. I just say the letters.
All right, let's look it up. I'm going to go Google.
Okay.
Side. What does UDA stand for? I know DTU stands for Dance Team Union, and that's because that was the latest competition that you and your dance partners won. UDA.
We actually didn't win that year. My senior year, we did not win, but that's okay. It's not always about winning, but it was a little bit of a hurt for us.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what that means because the world of dance is a little bit different than most sports that people are familiar with, and a little similar to what people know as an Olympic sport in terms of how preparation goes for one ultimate goal. So UDA stands for Universal Dance Association.
There's also that, right? NDA, which is National Dance Association.
There's National Dance Association. So there's two divisions, different associations, also DTU, that essentially will host a qualifying year of dance competitions at every level, at different levels, right? Such as high school, college, and they have different divisions in college, as we're going to talk about right now. I don't think people understand how competitive this is, and not only how competitive, but how demanding of a sport it is for the athletes and the student athletes in college, the student athletes in high school, who are also this is not their only focus. They still have to live their lives like normal on top of being an athlete pretty much full time. So we're going to talk about that. One of the things that really made us want to bring this topic up was the recent championships, right? January 12th through the 14th right here in Florida, which that reminds me, we need to make a plan for you to come down next year and we can watch the college nationals. I know you have some favorites.
Like a great thing to do. Are you paying?
Well, do I have a choice?
Well,
No
yeah,
choice.
I guess.
Oh, I have a choice. Okay, then no, you're paying. But I just got done watching some of the videos of the highlights of this year and the champions from this year. So I was really excited about what transpired. So what can you tell me if you had to describe your view on this year's championships?
So usually with things like this, we all kind of go in wanting to watch like the highest division there is in the nationals that they host. Mostly because they are like world known and like the best, and they do like things like really good and stuff, and it's really entertaining to watch those divisions that are really high. But with this one, we all like kind of knew the same rivalry going on with Minnesota and Ohio State. And we remember from last year, Minnesota won with their performance, which was one of my all-time favorites. And it was a little bit caught you by surprise. So we wanted to see what they both had in store with what they were going to do this year. And last year, Louisiana State University didn't come out on top like the year before, because that dance, which is I believe called like a man, like a boy. And that
Like
hip hop
boy.
dance was, it kind of like turned a little switch in the dance world around, because I believe, now I'm not like a factual, I'm not Google, but I think I remember this as they did that dance in that song because it was kind of a year that COVID was still like really in your face, and they would like Louisiana State University would like always back up and support the football team, especially, and basketball team as well, but they were almost going to not allow or fund or help the pom team go to nationals because they didn't see it as a relevant sport for like their funding or whatever. So then they did that and kind of changed it a little bit. And then this year they're like ready for business. They're coming back for that first place spot. And we really like see Louisiana State University as a hip hop team, but this year they really showed off like they're not just hip hop, they can also do jazz, and they got third place in jazz actually.
Yeah, it was a good year for LSU. I mean, impressive. I think their fourth national championship. But one thing that a lot of people don't understand, so when you think of college teams and college sports, most people are familiar with the college conferences and college divisions. So you have Division 1 and Division 2, things like that, where you have your top programs of the nation in the nation as you know, your top division, your big universities like Michigan, Texas, you know. Then you have Division One, where you have your smaller colleges, things like that. And within divisions, you have the conferences. So right now, for example, schools like um, Florida and Alabama, they belong to the Southeastern Conference. So they play all their team sports within the conference to determine a champion for the conference. That follows suit in most sports, but not necessarily when it comes to the national championships for dance, because Division 1A, which is the highest division of dance and collegiate dance sport, comprises all the top universities in the US. So when you're telling me that LSU wins in Division 1A hip hop, they didn't just participate against their conference per se. They
Mhm.
participated and competed against all the top schools in the nation from coast to coast, and
Mhm.
even Hawaii, I think. So it's super competitive. You have to beat out everybody. Now, when we talk about the comparison of a sport where you go through the ranks to beat somebody to make it to the next level, and then you look at sports in Olympic format, where most Olympians will go through qualifying to get to the Olympics only for that one moment, one shot that they have, right? It's not a competition necessarily against another team. It's a competition against yourself and against the rules for the competition. So describe to me, as a dancer, what is it like, the pressure of knowing that you're working your whole year, every year of your life, either for that one national dance competition, national championship competition, that is your ultimate team goal? What is that like?
So yeah, so our whole season is all based off of one weekend. Sometimes two, if we do, if there's high school and there's like state and stuff. But mostly it's just one weekend that we like all like look towards, even in the beginning of our new season. But it's a lot of pressure because we don't have a second chance. I mean, yeah, we have like 2 or 3 days of competing, but we don't have a second chance of a weekend. We don't have another game. We don't have another. We don't have, I don't know, playoffs. But like we have just one time to show these judges. And it's not just like a fair play. Like they got 3 goals and they got two. No, it's based on real people judges scores, and it's all in one weekend. So it's a lot of pressure to like train, and we have to know like a little bit inside the industry of like what they are looking for nowadays and how we can impress them nowadays and like show off the new dance moves and dance styles there are. But going through like practices, it's a lot harder than some people would think. We don't when we get into the national season, when it's like coming close to nationals instead of just like the rest of the whole season, it's a lot of practice, like a lot of hours of practice, but it's not just one practice. We usually have 2 or 3 a day, and it's every
Right.
day. We don't have a day off. And in high
I even
school,
remember Christmas days and New Year's
yeah, we
days, where it's like, okay, Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner, and then off to practice.
well, not, yeah, exactly. But in high school, I feel like it's a little bit more challenging with like time management and like how much of your percentage of effort, I guess, you give to each thing, because you have school, but most dancers on pom or any like sport like pom or cheer like that, they also have their outside teams with like studio dance or
Right.
with tribe cheer stuff like that. Um, but it's also hard because you have those competitions to get ready for, as long as you're also practicing with that. So you have like maybe 4 or 5 practices a day in all combining, like
Yeah. A
with
lot of people don't
prom.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have concurrently while dancing for your school, you're also dancing for a studio where you are also, as a competition dancer, required to have a number of hours a week of
Well, some
technical.
teams require it.
Well, some teams and some studios, I mean, will require you to practice because they also have the goal of going to national competitions for the studio. So yeah, you're balancing two requirements, two expectations from two different teams, two different coaches, probably two different types of dance. So now you're adding on to everything that you're learning, huh?
So it's a lot of memorization too, because we have to know what moves go with what song and what dance, you know. And after like the eighth dance, you're a little brain foggy. So,
Do
but
you ever
yeah.
feel like you're about to get confused when you're like doing a move that maybe you have in another dance, and
Oh
then
yeah.
you might get confused on what the next move is because you want to make sure it's not the one from the other dance?
Oh yeah. It especially got really hard when you have a turn sequence in one and a turn sequence in another one that doesn't even it's not even in the same team. So you're like, wait, I don't know what I'm doing, and you just kind of like sit there. You're like, you know what? I just need a minute. I need a
Yeah.
minute to think about this. But yeah.
Now, in a normal year, so for example, in high school, you had, sometimes two, sometimes three numbers that you take to nationals, but you also had numbers in your studio.
Mhm.
On a given year, about how many routines do you think that you had to practice all the way through for the year for that ultimate purpose when adding all of them up,
I'd say average about if I kind of like I usually had a
including your
solo.
solos too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I usually had a solo, and if it was a nationals year, I also have a duet. So I would average like the whole year to 8 dances, maybe.
8 dances. Wow.
Yeah.
So I can barely remember the Macarena, and then you have people like you that have to remember 8 complete dances for the time being. That's crazy. I mean,
Hmm.
if you talk about memorization, I mean, come on now, that's great. So what are your thoughts? You said that dance evolves just like in sports. I mean,
Hmm.
the goal in like football, yeah, you got to score touchdowns and score more points than the other team, and then you might throw some wrinkles in your plays and do some trick plays and maybe run your offense different. But like you said, every year dance is evolving. The difficulty of what you need to put out there is growing, and the
Hmm.
way that judges look at things are different. So you have to adapt to all that.
Yeah.
What is it like from year to year?
Well, I don't know what it's like now. I'm not a dancer like that anymore. I mean, I do dance, but not like that. But like we don't just see it in dance how like it evolves into how difficult and like rules change too with like what you can and can't do on a stage because you'll either get disqualified or points off, and no one wants that. But we see it in gymnastics too. We see it in cheerleading. We see it in like figure skating. But it gets a lot harder when the good teams throw out something that's never no one's ever really seen or never been done, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna base it off that now this for this next year.
This
And
is raising the
being
bar,
on
huh?
one of those teams that would throw something out that no one has seen or hasn't really been done in that way, it's a lot of pressure because you want to show people like what you are doing and what you've been doing and what you you can do and what others can do. So like it's just so much. I don't want to say like a liability. I don't know, but it's crazy because like you
It
said with
sounds
like,
like it's just so hard to stay on the top, stay on
oh
top.
yeah.
And so these programs that consistently stay on top, your LSU's, your Ohio State, your Minnesota's, in order to stay on top. And I mean, you were obviously involved in a great tradition at Westmore High School where they were always on top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Innovation
Well,
every year, raising the bar every year. I mean, other schools are always trying to figure out how can they be at the top like you guys were, and that pushes you. But to stay on the top is sometimes even harder than to get to the top, right?
Yeah, because everyone always wants to see you fail or see you break. And it's hard as humans to even do that, like to try and mask your emotions like that, but to try and mask your imperfections because nobody's perfect. No, not one team is perfect. Everyone's going to have something that they're struggling on or that something happens. But it's also fun being on the top like that because you have like all these people who are like excited to see you and your team and what you've been working on, and like it's not just so much I want to see them fail, it's more I want to see what they got this year. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think in the dance community, there's a lot of support where, you see that in all sports where athletes are friends with other athletes from other
Mhm.
teams and things like that. But I feel like in the dance world, there's more of that support of making sure that you want to see everybody do well and you want to learn what you can from everybody and you want to root for everybody. Of course, you want to be the best, but you can only do the be the best by being your best, not by making sure that other people fail, right? And you definitely want to be the best after other people gave their best.
Right, yeah.
You don't want to go in a competition and beat a team because they had mistakes and all that. You want to beat them because you're better,
Mhm.
and the work that you put in there is better. So are there any strategies that dance choreographers use to mask or hide some of the possible imperfections in a dance?
Yeah, let's see. I think it was my senior year. We as a team were like we weren't the most flexible that there is. We'd have a lot of flexible people on our team, but as a whole, we weren't like the most flexible. So doing things that almost make you seem like you are really flexible, like a leg extension. I'm not a leg person, but like our coaches would make us either drop a knee, so then our working leg would go up higher, or something like that. So we looked like we are what some other teams are like, even though as a whole we really weren't. We worked at
Yeah.
it, but it's just like I don't know what it was like, but and then we'd have. It's not like anything personal. I know this, but it's like whoever's better at turns is going to be in the front. Whoever's not as great is going to be in the back. They're not
Right.
bad, but they're not as good as the people in the front. And they want to showcase who is in the front,
Yeah.
how good they do their turns. But like stuff like that, yeah.
Reminds me of baseball. Whoever can get on base the most is going to be in the front of the lineup. Whoever can't will be in the back of the lineup. I mean, it's common sense. You have to be able to give yourself the best chance to win as a team. And if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. So let me ask you then, if you were a coach, right, and let's say you coached a university and you were looking for athletes to come to your dance team, aside from the skill itself, you obviously want to have a very flexible team, one that can do turns, and you find people that have those skills. But what else are you looking for? Like, what's the extra ingredient that a dancer needs to have in order to be successful and contribute to a team?
Um, I would say like the wanting to grow themselves and as a team, like not saying, "Oh, I'm all of this. I don't have to do more. I'm a great dancer." Like it's more of like you want to learn more, you want to be better than even if you're like the best in the world, you still want to be better and you still want to do so much more things than you can already. And that kind of strings along with like passion and stuff, like how passionate you are about not just being on a team but dance itself because it's an art form and it's a very hard sport. But yeah, that's what I would look for.
How important and influential are coaches and choreographers and teachers?
Oh, they're very influential. I've had multiple dance teachers in my lifetime, but I know I've had some that aren't good. I've had some that I still talk to today, and I still take those like little notes in my head that I think of when they said 3 years ago. I still apply it when I dance, but they can either build you up and support you, or they can literally break you down, and that hurts you as a person, even though they want good from you. They want, like, they're doing it for the best, but they don't remember to stop sometimes. They don't know how
Yeah.
to, like, tone it down sometimes. And, like, if it affects you as a person, it's going to also affect your dancing and your want and your drive, and also, like, how much effort you're going to put and how much you have anyways. But, like, um anyways, like, if you are a coach and all you see is winning, or a dance teacher and all you see is winning a competition, it doesn't usually help your team or group of dancers, because it's like overlooking them. It's like all you want is the end goal, but how do you have to get there to the end goal, you know?
Yeah. So you have to have the team mentality, but understand the individuals are
Mm-hmm.
the most important part. That's tough to manage. Do you think what percentage of let's say Ohio State, so I don't know if we talked about the results this year. Division 1A hip hop champion was Louisiana State. Second place was Nevada. Third place Memphis. We have a couple of Florida schools that made the top 10. We have UCF, Central Florida, right, made number 5, and Florida State number 7. That's pretty good. And then on Division 1A for jazz, Ohio State, like you said, was the champion this year, followed by Minnesota. So those two were battling it out
Oh
for
yeah, it
jazz,
was
huh?
like a battle. It because and like there are still some people that are like mad about it. Not mad, but like kind of like sad that Minnesota didn't win, because they both had incredible dances this year. Like, incredible. I don't know how to describe it. It like changed the dance world again. Like, I think this is like going to be a staple of how the dance world changed. But like Ohio, they told a story as well as like how good of dancers they are together and individually. But with Minnesota, they had that strong passion and like that drive, as well as how good a group of dancers they are in individuals. So it was a really tough decision. I would not want to be a judge at all for that. Because I would tie them. I'll be like, I can't do it. But some people forget that telling a story is also very impactful, and it almost adds like a little mini point to a dance when you also get to tell a story.
That makes sense. What do you think to be a champion like that, is the mix of coaching, resources like choreography, choreographers, the ideas that they put in and the work they put in behind it, and the technical aspect of the athlete, like the skill. What would you say the mix is of skill versus coaching?
What do you mean?
Well, like, is it
Wait, can you just
more
dumb it
they
down?
just
Just dumb it down.
yeah, yeah. Do you think Ohio State wins because they just recruited the best dancers, or do
Oh
you win
no.
partly because they have a great culture, great coaching, great choreographers, people that can
I
write that
think it's
story?
like um because there's going to be like the dancers who sometimes you don't really expect to be on the team, and it's mostly because they see something in that dancer, and that dancer grows, and that dancer helps the team grow too. And all the dancers on a team help the team grow in a different way. But with it being like, if it's just the best dancers, it's not always just the best dancers. It's the best people, and like, no, I don't know how to like explain it, but like, it's not the choreographers you bring in. It's not the technique all the time, but it's like I don't know how to explain it. I guess
The culture, the
no,
the
the
heart,
respect, the
the
respect. I
respect.
want to say it's like the respect, because if you have problems on your team, it's like one weak link, like in the pyramid, it's gonna
Yeah.
make something a little wobbly, you know.
No, that makes sense, and that's typical of every other sport, right? When you have a team with one bad apple, it will affect some aspects of your team, and ultimately, in other sports, might be easier to overcome that one bad apple or that one weak link, right? But not here, huh?
Mm-mm.
When all hands on deck for that ultimate goal, where you get one chance, that weak link is really whether it be skill, attitude, whatever it is. That weak link can bring the whole team down.
And it usually
So
comes down to attitude, because we train so hard and so much that we like perfect it in our own way. And if you're arguing with one of your teammates, or you guys aren't getting along, it's like it just like falls apart almost. And like, you have to like come to an understanding. Like, it happens in high school especially, but
yeah.
it usually happens beginning of season. You both have an understanding of, we need to squash it, we're on a team together.
So I know that you suffer injuries in high school, and you shared with me that some of your goals were to perhaps go and be a lady tiger, huh? At LSU.
Yeah, yeah, that was an option I had in my head. But yeah, I got injured. Well, I've had a long time injury since like middle school with
Yeah.
my back. And since I danced so much and so often, it never was able to really heal. So in high school, I think it was like my sophomore year, I started going to the chiropractor, and he like took x-rays on my back, and basically I gave myself a like C-curve spine, just
Yeah.
like self scoliosis. Instead of it happening naturally in your body, you kind of just do it to yourself. But
Right.
I never had the time to just heal it. So I'd go to the chiropractor, he'd crack my spine and stuff, I'd do this stuff. Then I go back to dance and then just like ruin it all over again. So like, it was like taking a step forward, then taking it like 14 steps back.
Yeah.
And it just never got better, and I was in a lot of pain every day. It hurt to wake up, it hurt to go to sleep sometimes. But I mean, I
That,
guess I got used to it, but it
yeah,
still
and
hurt.
that's it's similar to what people think or know of from other sports like baseball, football, whatever. People will develop an injury sometimes in high school, sometimes in college, sometimes in minor leagues, that will prevent them from continuing forward in their goal of achieving the ultimate of going to a professional league or something like that. It happens so much, and it definitely happens in dance, with as much as you guys work. Now, I want to give a shout out to the coach for LSU, Candace Hale. I mean, she obviously is a great motivator, a great innovator. That just reminded me of what show is that? That movie, the dance movie. We are the innovators. So,
Huh?
she's bringing a team. I forgot the name of the movie. The dance movie we used to watch. Darn
Oh,
it.
step up.
One of those, not Step Up, but the other one. That was so funny. Oh, no. Remember the band movie,
The band movie.
Drumline,
Uh huh.
and that announcer was like, "We seen the innovators. We seen the something imitators." And now,
Uh-huh.
but Candace Hale, definitely an innovator, definitely um, finding the right way to stay on top, bring in all the resources. This year's hip hop routine was choreographed by Larson Lau and Sammy McFadden, two very great choreographers. The culture of the LSU Tigers dance team is impressive because they really did fight and work very hard to achieve this goal. It wasn't like it was luck. It wasn't like it was just like, oh, we'll just wait a few years and do it. No, you have to work your way through the ups and downs to make it to where they did this year. So they should
Uh-huh.
be very proud. Um, and we have to commend them for all their work, the coaches, the team, the staff. Glad, luckily the school decided to not pull their funding and
Yeah.
help them.
Even though
so
COVID's
so
not like it was before, but still.
right. Yeah, and I mean it happens. You know that some schools decide when funding, okay, where do we put their money, and you have football making the most money for the university, so they might think the other sports are not important or as important. So that happens. We get it. Um, do you have any predictions for what will happen in 2025, or what you hope will happen in 2025 UDAs?
Whoa. Whoa. I have no predictions because, like I said, they literally like catch you on catch you they catch you lacking. Okay, it's like basketball when you like they break your ankles. Okay, they swerve you and then they dunk on you. So I have no predictions. All I know is that whoever's gonna do what they do is gonna do what they do.
Well, I think we should plan it and be sure that you come to Florida so we can watch it. Um, I don't know how many weekends you want to spend here, but we can catch the college nationals. We can catch maybe some high school nationals. Bring back some memories. What do you think as a dance dad? How supportive was I, and how important is that to have like a support group behind you when you're looking to achieve greatness in dance and be part of a great team? How important
Oh
is have
yeah,
that support at home?
it's very important. Whether it be either through a friend or through someone like family, um, because I mean you remember I would spend hours just trying to video turns and video my tricks. And some nights I'd be fine, I'll do it in a couple minutes, but sometimes I would literally be there for hours because I'm having a bad turn day or whatever. And then like I start getting worked up, and you or mom would like have to remind me it's just one day, take a break and go and get back to it. Because I mean, it usually be like exhaustion where I couldn't
Yeah.
hit it, and then I'm like, I can't send that to the group. But yeah, it's always like the thinking I'm not good enough, or thinking that I can't do a certain dance movement or part, and then having to get reminded that it's just one day. Like, you're fine. You're on this team for a reason. You're dancing on the team for a reason.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm very proud of you. I know your mom is too, and
thanks.
um,
Even though I'm not dancing anymore. I mean, I am, but not like that. I would be if I wasn't injured, probably. Probably. It was just an option.
now let me ask you this: have you thought of inserting some of your dance experience into your acting now?
Um, I mean, that's a whole other story, but yeah, like, it's a whole other industry. But with like a
Yeah.
resume, I had to put that I am a dancer, and I put that I have 15 years of training.
Right. I think when
So,
I think of like your cousin, right? Remember when we watched your cousin at when he was a stuntman
mhm.
before he started doing movies and all that? He was a great dancer too, and I think he took his love for dance, and his flexibility, because that boy was flexible, huh?
Mhm.
And kind of put it all in a package to where when he bust into the movie scene and started doing movie roles, he was able to rely on some of that expertise that he has, some of that
Yeah,
those skills.
it does definitely gives you an advantage,
Yeah,
especially when like you have to like make a character like Steve Urkel, how he walks.
yeah,
You know how to use your body. What we trained for first was our instrument of our body and how to use it, and
yeah.
so that's a little bit of an advantage. So yeah.
Good deal. Now, okay, so we're gonna shift gears. I'm gonna talk a little bit about another thing that you're a little bit familiar with. And again, thank you so much for telling us so much about dance. I'm very excited for what we're about
You're
to do.
welcome. You're welcome.
But in terms of what's going on today, this week in baseball
Do
and the
you hear
National
that?
Baseball Hall of Fame, what?
Can you hear that?
Hear what? No, I don't hear it.
It's Zuko pawing on my door.
Oh my gosh, is your cat? Hey, my cat.
I
Our
saw
cat.
Hella's tail in the
Oh, there
corner.
she walked by.
Here, can you? It's fine. It's fine.
That's all right. So this week, the National Baseball Hall of Fame inducted 4 people, 3 players and 1 coach, and one of the players was Adrian Beltre. So I know you remember. I know you and I went to a lot of Texas Rangers games. Now, who was your favorite baseball player growing up from the Rangers?
See, here's where I get a little controversial because I can't just like lie and say, "Oh, it was this person," because I know we have proof. I have witnesses, you and Angelica. Um, but it was Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton. Okay,
I remember
I
it so
remember.
well. Every time we go to a game, instead of saying "Thank God it's Friday," TGIF, we say "Thank God it's Hamilton." And I don't remember if we try to get a signature or
I don't
not.
think we ever did. I don't know why we never pushed that, huh? I do
I
remember
feel
this
like
though.
I feel like we were trying to, like over where
Yeah,
the kids are, where they throw the baseball at, like they give them the baseball sometimes, like before or after
yeah,
a game. I feel like we tried to, but there's just too many people.
yeah. I remember one time I don't know why, we were maybe about to leave and the game was either tied or we were losing in the 9th inning, and we were out there on the outfield, center field, and Hamilton hit a home run to win the game. That was so exciting because we were about to leave,
Yeah.
and you're like, no, Hamilton's about to come up. And then next thing you know, he hits a home run
See,
and
I told
they
you I
win
have
the game.
witnesses.
Yeah, hey, listen, Josh Hamilton is not controversial. That's a great best
No, it
player,
was
like favorite
controversial
player.
because we all were heartbroken when he left the Texas Rangers. And
Yeah,
then you went to the Angels, and then you got mad at me that I started becoming an Angels fan. I was like, I'm
nobody should be an
sorry.
Angels fan. I feel bad for the Angels. They threw so much money out there for Josh Hamilton. Then they gave Albert Pujols a lot of money. Obviously, they have Trout, one of the best players in the nation, and then in history, and then Otani, and they still can't win. They still can't really get to the playoffs and win it all in so many years with these great players. They did win before, and they were good. But yeah, um, I guess some of us do that. That we follow some favorite player to other teams and then maybe root for them, but we don't become a fan. You shouldn't have tried to become a fan of the Angels. Come on now.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
So Adrian Beltre was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I don't know if you know how this works. They have a ballot, and all these sports writers and other people vote every year from all the people that can be on a ballot, and it can be a bunch of people, and they can be on the ballot for a number of years. It's a specific number of years they're on there, and if they get more than a percentage of votes, then they become part of the Hall of Fame. If they don't reach that number, they'll continue to be on that ballot until either they get voted in or they run out of time. And Adrian Beltre, um, I think this was his first time on the ballot, and right away he was voted in. So that was pretty cool to see, huh?
Yeah.
What was your favorite memory of going to the ballpark in Arlington?
Well, the old one, anyways. I haven't been to the new one, but
Yeah.
my memory of the old one is still very vivid. Um, this sounds so mean, and like I'm like this sounds like I never really liked baseball, but I loved it. Okay, I still do. But it was like maybe halfway through the game, and me and Angelica would beg you to take us to like the little kids section where we can go and bat in the little batting range and like play
Yeah.
games over there. That was probably my favorite part. And the
Remember the
jumbo
time?
pretzel, the Texas
Oh
sized
my gosh.
pretzel.
You know, they don't even have that anymore.
I
I was so
know.
sad
You
at the new
told me that. I was
ballpark.
like, that was like my favorite food over there.
Yeah, if people don't know, it's a pretzel the size of a pizza. It's huge, and it was really thick, like all the way around, and it was so good. We probably should not have eaten that whole thing every time we got it, huh? It was so
I think it
big.
was 3 of us. I think you're fine.
3 of us. It's like 4 pretzels a piece worth of pretzel.
And you
Nobody
had
should
2
eat that much
children.
pretzel.
We were
I know.
children. Children eat a lot, okay?
Have you always rooted against the teams that I like,
What do you
aside
mean?
from the Rangers? Well, I remember when the Mets
I
made
like the
the
Mets.
World
I've been a
Series,
Mets fan.
but you were rooting for the Royals.
No, I wasn't.
I think so. And
Dad,
you were happy
no,
that
no,
the
no,
Royals
no. I was rooting
won.
for the Mets, and my friend, remember Jacob?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
was rooting for the Royals. Let's not say nothing that wasn't true. Will always be a Mets girl, and having lived in New York, I have stayed a Mets girl, okay?
I'm so sorry we didn't go to a game while you were living in New York, and now
Hey, it's okay. You
all of a
work
sudden
for
you
one of them,
don't.
so if he gets you tickets, then you know who to bring. So
Well, I still have my tickets there. They're not great. Section
I
436.
don't care.
I did tell my client, I was like, hit a home run to me, and if you do, it'll be impressive because my seats are high up. But how about we do that this summer? We'll go to a game, okay?
Are you
In New York.
are you paying?
Do I have to? Okay.
Well,
I'll pay.
right now,
I'll pay for that one.
yeah.
I'll pay for that one. You can go visit your friends. What do you miss the most about New York?
The parks. I always say that because I
Oh,
used to go to the parks because my school was across the street from one of them, so I would just go
yeah.
there for lunch or something, or even after. But I don't know what it is about the parks. I guess it's because like for a while, for most of your time, you forget what real nature, like a big land of nature, is like. And it's like so quiet over there because it's so far away from the cars.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was just looking at pictures of Central Park, and I remember the serenity, this quietness, and the you can hear people's voices instead of the ambulances and the police cars going "Rah, rah," and all the people yelling. Yeah, it was. I get it.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yep.
all right. We're gonna go to the next section of our podcast. We call it Three Strikes. So I asked you to come up with 3 things that you want to bring up. So
Okay.
let's go to strike 1, and we're
Of
going to
mine?
start with you. What is your strike 1?
Why are you starting with me? This is not fair. Anyways,
It's all good.
I think I said how dance isn't like really recognized as a real sport.
Yeah.
Even though it is.
What? Why do you think people do that? Why do they not understand
You know,
how much of a sport?
I put that question in my head ever since I was in first grade. Because, you know, you get like those little teasing bullies that be like, dance isn't a sport. And I'm just like, okay. And then like you think it like wear off when you get older because then you have those teams, but you also have like proof. Like I do this. Like this is what
Yeah.
I do at practice, at whatever. But no, it just was the same as always saying dance isn't a sport, even though we train just as hard or even harder than some people in
Right.
sports. I mean, it's not just technique. Sometimes we have to go to the weight room too,
Mm-hmm. Do you
lift people
remember?
up.
Do you remember the time that Angelica, my oldest daughter, your sister, was also a dancer for a while, was in a PE class and they did strength training and competitions where she had to compete against like
That
everyone
was
in the
me.
class. Was it you? And
That
well,
was
she
me.
did it too. So competing against the football players and all that. Turns out that like y'all were stronger than all the
Yeah.
football players.
Yeah, it was like because we turn in I it was like our evaluations for like how good we are at physical things
Yeah.
for the school district or whatever, but we turn it into a competition. So it'd be like who can touch their toes like the farthest and who can run the longest amount of time. I forgot what else there was. Who can jump the farthest, and then there was like a plank contest. Yeah,
Yeah.
plank contest, and I won that.
Yeah, and then after that, I mean, some of the boys give you some respect because they saw some of them were embarrassed, weren't they?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's funny. All right, um, I'm gonna go to your strike too because I think that is really cool. You talked about Texas Rangers winning the World Series. Were you excited for that?
I was so excited, and I was so mad that I didn't get to go to a
Right.
game. I know they're expensive, but at the same time, I wish I don't know, someone lost their ticket and I found it, you know. But that was exciting for me and exciting for the little me still in me,
Yeah.
because I remember, was it 2012 they're in the World Series?
2010 and 2011. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
two
yeah.
years.
Because I remember that they had gone, but I also remember that they didn't win, and I was like sad about that. I mean, I wasn't
Yeah,
like sad like how some sports watchers
devastated.
like yeah, but I was definitely sad about it. And then I remember reading something on like the MLB Instagram page of like the starting of the season last year and like the percentage that each team had to being the World Series winners, and
Yeah,
Texas Rangers was like not even 1%, I think, unless it was 1%. It was like low,
very
and
low.
I thought that was
Yeah,
hilarious, and I saw that while they were still playing in the finals or whatever. But I thought that was
yeah.
hilarious, and I was like, see, you got to not underestimate what the Texas Rangers can do. But yes, it was so exciting. I remember I didn't think that because that wasn't going to be like either Texas won or the other team won. It was either Texas won or we go to another game.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, whatever happens, it's going to be okay because we still have another chance.
Have other chances. Yeah.
And I was like in my pajamas. I was just watching it just in case. And it started getting like really good. Mom was just in the living room with me. She was like, every time like I cheer, she'd just like look at me like, you okay? But and then when what was it? Was it a strikeout? That was the final thing. Final strikeout.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Remember, I cheered so loud, and all the dogs got riled up too. They started like they weren't fighting each other, but they were like playing with each other, and it sounded like they were fighting with each other. We were all just like, I really was in a real dog pile, but I was so excited. It was
That's funny.
historical from my point of view, and for
Yeah.
the Texas Rangers.
Woohoo! Their first championship in team history, so that was amazing. I'm like almost done with my chase of going to all the ballparks. I'll finish this summer. And somebody asked me, I was on another podcast. They asked me, once you finish the parks, what's your next goal? Like, what are you going to do next in terms of chasing? So I don't know if you really care to go to all the games, but maybe we should do that. Maybe you should go to all the ballparks with me and we could do it all the way again. We could follow one team. That sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Look at your face.
I don't even like
Fine.
all
Okay,
the-
we'll plan on the Rangers and we'll plan on the Mets. Is that good enough?
That's good
All
enough
right,
with
good
me.
deal. All right, let's go to your strike three, the comeback of Sha'Carri Richardson. So tell me a little bit about this.
I love her. I remember the first time I ever actually saw her compete was her Olympic trial debut for the last Summer Olympics, and I was so mad. This is also a time when there was so much, I don't know, there's always so much discrimination against Black people, but it was heightened at this time. It was inflated at this time. The balloon was about to burst at this time. The balloon's always about to burst, but it was it was there. But I remember I was so upset and mad that they would not allow her to go to the Olympics because she had smoked or taken an edible. I think she smoked weed, a little bit of weed the night before her race. And now, weed is not a performance enhancer at all. In fact, it makes you almost less to do a freaking sport.
Yeah.
But I was so mad that they did that because they only ban performance enhancers in Olympic sports and other sports too, other kind of natural things. But it's heavy on that. And that wasn't a performance enhancer, and it was the night before, not right before. And they didn't let her go. And she I feel like she broke a record in that race too.
Right.
She was the winner of that race, obviously, but
yeah.
I thought I just was so mad. And then seeing her coming back and I guess people thought and expected that she's going to be right off the bat doing what she did again. But it's, if you take a break from something, even for a little bit, from something so competitive like that, you're going to have a little step back and people are going to go above you. It's like the tortoise and the hare, you know? So she had to get her groove back, but seeing her I'm saying the word a lot. I am so sorry. Anyways, seeing her not be phased by, not saying she lost, but not doing what she did years prior, and be really proud of herself and taking it into consideration for her training and finding better ways and different ways and fixing those mistakes is just so refreshing, because knowing how it is on the other side and her showing it to the world like that with such poise is just, I loved it. And I cannot wait for her to actually go to the Olympics this year, because I'm betting on it, okay? She's gonna go.
Yeah.
She's gonna be on the freaking USA team, you know?
I mean, the ultimate show of perseverance, right? And that's what builds a champion, is you have to have those obstacles and those things in your life that make it difficult, and how you react to that, how you face those those things that happen in your life, and how you overcome those obstacles. So she should be very proud of herself, as a lot of us are.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's going to be exciting to see her perform. in the Olympics. So I know you'll
Woo!
be in front of the TV since you were 3 years old. You're always like in front of the TV at the Olympics for weeks. You're just like, okay, that's your spot, front of the TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's so funny. Is the Olympics your favorite thing to watch?
Not ever, but like when it comes on, when it's the year of it, I'm going to be watching it every single day. I remember
Yeah.
not the last Winter Olympics, but the one before that. I stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning to see if the USA women's hockey would win that year against the team that they lost to the previous time or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to say I'm a super fan, but like, you know, those Disney adults, not like you and Melody, but those Disney adults. You've seen them, I know, but I'm like that with the Olympics.
That's funny.
I mean, that's really funny. I even wanted to go to the Olympics so bad that I did swimming in high school for not even a semester.
So you can be an Olympic swimmer. Well, maybe we could just buy a ticket and go watch the Olympics live one day.
You know how much those are? And to go to the
Are you going to ask me if
country?
I'm paying?
Yeah,
ask me if I'm paying. Do I have to?
You want to go to a different country? I have to get a passport too. You pay for my passport?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got to.
I guess we can wait until they come to LA in 2028.
We could do that. That would be cheaper. All right, let me ask you something. This week is the football playoffs, the NFL divisional championship games. Are you more aware of football now that Taylor Swift is dating a footballer?
No, just about the same as I was before.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Do you even know
football.
Who's playing this week?
No.
No.
All I know is that on your Facebook, Dio is real mad at a friggin' what team was it? Was it Dallas Cowboys or whatever?
The Cowboys, yeah. Yeah,
He's
Cowboy fans are that way.
On your page.
I know, right? He's a crazy fan like that. But do you think there's more passion in American football, or like fans of American football, or fans of world soccer?
World soccer? Oh my god!
Right?
Oh my god!
Have you seen the documentary for David Beckham?
I haven't. No.
Okay, it's on Netflix. I started watching it. I haven't finished it, but you need to watch it. Hopefully your account's still logged on because I pay extra for your. Thanks a lot, Netflix. But you should watch the David Beckham documentary because it shows you the level of crazy passion that these fans have in soccer. And if you make a mistake, oh my gosh, the entire country is like out to get you. Crazy. And if you win
it firsthand.
Yeah.
I'm Argentinian, and Lord, with it was stressful, okay? We're all repped out, you know, all the girls who are in our family were there, but we were also like scared because all the boys also played soccer, and they grew up with Abuelo watching Argentina games and Boca games like that. And so Argentina is like our team. I mean, it's our country too, but like,
yeah,
remembering how it was when they lost to Germany, all the girls were very cautious to just make sure like they're okay. So we're all like, they miss a goal, if they miss catching the ball, like we okay, what are the vibes this time? What are we feeling this time? How can we help? And I remember it literally happened the same way it did going into penalty kicks.
Yeah.
And we were freaking out.
How long do you think it would take somebody to recover? How long do you think it takes your grandpa and cousins to recover if Argentina would have lost?
Oh, I remember it so well because the last time they lost, immediately they took their scarves off took their hats off, went to the room, washed their face paint off, didn't come out until the next day when breakfast was there. And again, they still weren't talking. I mean, of course, Abuelo wouldn't do that. He would have his moment, yes. But, like, the boys, they're out for at least a week.
Yeah, I don't think people in the U.S. understand the amount of passion and craziness, crazy love that fans have for soccer in other countries. I know when the Cowboys lost, my cousin, your uncle, he's like, "Oh, the Cowboys suck," blah blah blah. But he goes on about his day. He's not as affected as when your country loses out in the World Cup and people are affected. And God forbid that it's somebody's fault. Like, as a team you can lose, but if it's somebody's fault that you lost, that's why I want you to watch that documentary for David Beckham, because it shows you firsthand what some of these players can go through with the pressure of performing and representing your country. And if you don't, what the consequences can be to you as a player, as a human, your career, all that. That documentary will show you the ugly part of it. It's kind of I don't know, stressful to see that.
I bet. And like, there's also a good part of it because, like, if you do win, like Argentina did this last time, you saw, like, all those pictures and videos of everyone in Buenos Aires literally in the street on top of tourist buses and trucks and with the, like, flag poles. Not just like a flag, not just like one of the ones you have on the back of a truck. No, like actual flag poles just holding it up while the car that they're standing on is driving. They can't because everyone's in the street and everyone's out and about cheering. I remember seeing all of those and I was just like, that is dedicated fans.
Yep. Well, in the U.S. this week, we have the championship game. There's 4 teams that are still in the playoffs to make it to the Super Bowl and to win the Super Bowl. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, the Detroit Lions, and the San Francisco 49ers. If you had to pick one of these, who would you want to see win the Super Bowl?
See, I don't follow football a lot. I don't even like my own state's football team. And we're national.
You don't like...
I don't know. I don't know how to tell you. I'm sorry. I mean, like, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that I'm not a fan,
Did you ever see my sign from the game I went to a few weeks ago?
Yeah. I hope everyone has fun.
I hope both teams have fun. Is that how you feel about it?
No. You would think, but no.
You don't even want them to have fun?
No, I want them to have fun, but I want someone to win,
Oh, okay.
Since I don't follow teams like I do with other sports on football, I'm just going to say I hope that the Ravens win. Why? You want to see my reasoning on this? Here's my reasoning.
Sure, dirty birds. Yes.
Birds are my favorite animal, okay? And ravens, they're cool.
They're smart too, huh?
They're smart. They're very smart. So are crows. But ravens, yeah, they're smart. And also Ravenclaw. I'm a Ravenclaw,
Oh, okay.
I know Ravenclaw's bird is not actually a raven. It's an eagle. But
I get it.
Raven.
But the lion's the king of the jungle. Come on, is the king of the jungle.
The king of the jungle. I'm pretty sure Westmore beat them for 21
wow,
years
you had
straight.
to throw that in there.
I have to.
You had to throw that.
It's funny
they
though
only
because we
remember
lost our
the
streak.
year they didn't.
My senior year, we lost our streak my senior year. So
I know.
It's okay.
That was so sad.
That's not the sport I play though, but it's okay.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much. We're gonna do our last segment. It's called the top 5. So I want you to pick. What is your top 5? What are we gonna talk about?
What?
I don't know.
Artists.
You're supposed to have this ready.
You didn't. You said you were.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let me ask you this. What are your top 5 competition places where you have competed in dance? So either national, even regional competitions where we had to go there because
Are you
we
talking about
travel a lot,
like
didn't
the
we?
state or like the
Whether it be the
company?
state, the place, the company, the competition, whatever it is. What were your 5 top favorite places to go dance in a competition?
Can you give me a different question? I feel like I don't want to answer this, and
No. Just pick 5 places you loved going to dance.
okay, all right,
And then I'll tell you my 5.
okay,
All right, then I'll
5
start. I'll
places.
tell you my top
Okay,
5 places.
okay,
My I think in no particular order. I'll just throw them out there.
okay.
So I really enjoyed the time we went to Branson, Missouri for nationals. I think
For studio
that was
nationals, yeah.
fun. We were able to, yeah, studio nationals in Branson, Missouri. That was pretty cool. The time we went to, I think it was also studio nationals in Kansas City, Missouri,
No, that
at
wasn't
the
nationals.
convention
It was
center.
just a competition.
Oh, was it just a regional? Okay.
Pretty
Well,
sure.
I have fun there. It was pretty fun. I think we got to eat some barbecue and do a lot of things. Definitely your high school nationals in Orlando. Those were always pretty fun.
Yeah, got
But
the
of
good
course, there's so much to
hotels.
do in Orlando. Yeah, and you
Not
get to
even
go to
like
the parks after.
before. You can't. As a team, we couldn't really like go out because we had to like keep our mind on the competition. Before,
Yeah,
anyways, it ended. Um, so even just the hotels, they had so much to do.
yeah.
So much. Anyways.
Remember the time that you of course you stay after competition is over for a few days, and you were able to stay longer this last time. But then there was that ice storm or snowstorm or whatever, and we almost got stuck in Florida. We couldn't even go back home, huh?
And it's funny because that was
That was
Angelica's
crazy.
birthday that we were trying to figure that out on.
Yeah. So
I
I
remember,
always
yeah.
like Orlando for that reason. And then I think it's pretty cool when you had the state competitions in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Those were fun, and we were only there for a couple of days, but just the atmosphere of the competition, and you have the whole state, so it's a really cool deal. Um, and then my favorite is, or my last favorite is it Mark of Excellence competition? Where was it that we went to? Was it Galveston?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Okay,
One of
that
them
was
was,
pretty
yeah.
fun. Yeah, I know the beach wasn't great, but overall,
Eh,
um,
it was a beach.
between just being down there and being able to go back and forth to the 2 stages and all that, that was pretty cool. That was one of my favorite too. So
Yeah, yeah, that was a good one. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna have a lot of similar ones. I do like Branson. I honestly that one had one of the most things to do other than like for fun. But
yeah.
I remember.
Now Branson was expensive because every time you go outside is $100. Like you go outside, $100. You look this way, another $100. Like
You start
Branson
your
is one
car.
expensive town, I tell you. Yep, $100.
But yeah, and I just remember that auditorium. I thought it was super tall. I remember it. It was super, super tall. And I thought it was like one of those opera auditoriums. So I was like, what am I doing here? But yeah. And then I'd say Tulsa because I don't know what it was about it. I think it was honestly that competition too. And then just having all like the like local but not local dance teams where you see like some
Hmm.
people that you do know, but like they're not really like close to you, but they're still there. Then I guess I'll say Oklahoma City because it was very convenient to just drive either 5 minutes away from me or 20 minutes away. Just wake up, get ready, and just drive. You don't got to really stay anywhere. You know where all the food places are. You know what to do after. But
sleep.
Let's see. Yeah, exactly. San Antonio was one of my favorite. Actually, I think that was my favorite nationals for studio that we went to. San Antonio.
Nice. Yeah.
I
The whole river walk and all that. Yeah, that was fun.
I remember me, Mom, and Joe went on a ghost tour.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, that was not my idea. And then, of course, Orlando, because, I don't know, it's just the vibes of the competitions that are in Orlando are just so much different.
So what was, of all your times, the most fun stage or best stage that you danced on?
Okay, so...
Because all the stages can be different. Like you said, in Missouri, it was really tall ceiling. Some of them have really long, big stages. Some have short, small stages. So which was your favorite?
So when I hear the word stages, I think of also the crowd. Okay?
Okay.
The energy in the room. I'll have to say Palm Nationals battle stage.
Oh.
Which is, if you don't know, DTU does this thing called the battles with the high school nationals, which is like a talent show with just all dances. And it's I think I forgot how they honestly pick the teams, but it's...
So I think they picked 5, right? Was it just 5?
I think it's 5 in every single type
across
of
different categories
of dance that they do at that nationals. So like whether it be kick or palm or jazz or hip hop or drill, I think that was one.
Yeah.
Everyone from every team would circle around the stage. Like instead of just being in the chairs, we would be literally by the stage. And because like you're basically doing it for fun there, because the judges don't judge that. Right. You're just doing it for fun, and you're just trying to be like, look how much angrier in this hip hop routine I am. It's funny because you make all the extreme faces, and then like people you don't even know are like vibing with you, and they're just cheering you on, and then I miss it. But it was also a lot because you have all of that adrenaline that you're doing, and you like almost go numb, but like your body knows what it's doing, that it's dancing, but you're like, I can't feel anything. But yeah, definitely that.
Dang. I wonder if that's what some of the players feel like when they're playing in the World Series of baseball. It's like out of body experience, and you're just like in an environment there's like nothing else, because this is like you made it to the point where this is what you love and what you worked so hard to do, and now you're just gonna let it all out, right? That's awesome. All right, you have any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? Not really.
Come on now.
Do you have any final thoughts?
No.
What are your final thoughts, Jorge?
My final thoughts are, I think the Rangers are going to repeat and win another World Series this year. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, folks. And if that doesn't happen, then...
I'm not rooting for the Ravens.
Okay.
Nothing. I'm not rooting for the Ravens, but if they win, I would not be surprised. I think they're a good team. So good luck to your birds. All right, well, that will do it. Thank you so much, Carina, for being my guest today. Since Noah ditched us, right?
Do I get paid?
We'll talk about that later. As soon as we get a sponsor, we might discuss that then, okay? Find us a sponsor. Let's do it. But I really appreciate everybody listening. As always, you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform, as long as that podcast platform is Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Also, you can find us on our YouTube channel, The Sport Fiction, or our website, www.thesportfiction.com. From Jorge and Carina, we want to tell you thank you so much. And
Wait.
I see you twice. I don't know what you're doing. Stop touching things.
No, it said it disconnected and I had to reconnect. Were you saying stuff? Because I apologize.
Okay, well,
I couldn't hear anything and you weren't even on the screen.
Yeah, sure. Let me do it again. You can find us on your favorite podcast app, Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or you can find us on our YouTube channel, The Sport Fiction, or our website, www.thesportfiction.com. From myself, Jorge, Carina,
and my son, Zuko,
and our guest, Zuko, we wish you a great week and thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.
Bye.